talking about key point. The key point is the spot in the landscape where this valley stops getting steep and starts getting shallow again. Right, where the contour lines stop getting closer together as we're measuring it, and they start getting further apart, because contour lines are always the same distance. If we're measuring 10 meters, they're always 10 meters elevation difference. So this here being the key point, yeah?
Yeah.
Sure, key points.
This key point, if you wanted to, let's say that this key point, just for sake of the exercise, is 50 meters above sea level, and you were using it for a key line, you would pin a point on here and you would start driving your tractor, but we would not follow, if this is the contour line, we would not follow that contour line, because those would be completely level. They would be on contour, not key line. Key line would start up here and the tractor would drive downhill to end up here. So you notice if this was 50, this is now 40 meters above sea level. So the key lines themselves, the plowed tracks that have been chiseled into the ground, are at a slope that is decreasing. They've gone from 50 to 40 meters above sea level, meaning the water, because we all know that water also accumulates naturally in a valley, right? So now it's accumulating into these soakage lines, these key lines, that are then actually draining them out to the ridges, which are our natural dry areas in the landscape, right? Does that clarify key line?
Mm-hmm.
But
All right.
why do you want to do that?
You would use it to balance water flow. So where we have excessive water in the valleys potentially causing erosion, and we have droughts and wildfires and forest fires out on our ridges, or we want to reforest the ridges. So it's a way of, in cropland, and in Canada you have people all the time saying, oh, you don't need keyline, you don't need swales, we have too much water. Well, these are the people who have a bog somewhere on their property. They have a swampy area somewhere on their property. And if we look at this as a Canadian landscape, where is the bog going to be? Where is the swamp going to be? It's going to be here at the bottom of the valley, right? Where all the topsoil, as we know when we did our soil sample, is down here in the bottom of the valley, so it's soaking up the water. It's also where all the water is going. So the idea here is, we don't need to get more water, we have too much. The peaks could be dry, the ridges could be bone dry, the top of the valley could be bone dry, but we're triggered by these soaking wet, boggy, mosquito, blackfly-filled valleys, right? So instead of having all that same volume of water go to one point on the landscape, we can use keyline to spread it to the dry zones. Spread it over here. We're not increasing rainfall, not until we get our forests fully established, but we are balancing the imbalance of water across that landscape, right? So the same volume of water that would have landed on this mountain range is now spread out over the dry and the wet zones. So same with our swales and our dams. If we're actually going to look at this as a site for a dam, how many valleys can we see here?
Two.
Where's the other one?
All three.
See this little one here?
Yeah.
What about over here on this side?
Yeah.
That's one.
There's
one right there.
Tiny little one here.
5, 6.
And I stopped drawing over here, but there's a tiny... Yeah, so there's micro valleys all across this, right? There is also a massive valley here between whatever is on the other side, maybe another mountain range, but those are the ones that we really don't play with, we don't work with. So there's plenty of options for us to build a pond here. If we're going to build a pond, what are the steps for building a pond? Well, the key point is the highest point in the landscape that we can put a water line in. So either we go above or below. Yeah, so what are the options here for building a pond or a dam?
Every valley.
Every valley. Valleys are one type of dam. A key point dam is the highest dam in a valley. So that's 2 of our 6 types of dam.
You got the turkey dam.
Pardon? Turkey nest. All right, we can put a little turkey nest dam on here. So there's your turkey nest dam, right? There's a saddle dam right here, double wall.
Yep.
Right? So that's 4.
A ridge dam.
Ridge dam. So here we could actually be digging and building a ridge dam. And the one that's still classified as a dam, although it has real no...
Contour dam.
Huh? Contour dam, which is anywhere else in the landscape. Right? So your valley dam, your key point dam, which is the highest possible valley dam, your turkey nest, your saddle, your ridge point, and then contour dam, which could be right here, it could be right here. It's anywhere else in the landscape that isn't one of these specific features. So now looking at, this is our highest water line because of that key point. So this is going to be our high water line. So let's build, should we build a dam wall here? What's our deciding factors for where we're going to put the dam wall? Well, the height, so this is water line, right? So if we're going to build a dam wall here, we've got that much height to work with. So one thing I didn't talk about yet was the fact that we as non-ENG, non-engineers, we do not build dams higher than 4-meter dam wall height. Above 4 meters, you need an engineer's stamp and you need to be completely approved and designed properly, right? So that's a huge 3.5. It doesn't mean that the depth of the dam is 3.5. Our depth is about 5 meters from highest water, because we're not. So, and this will make sense when we look at it now, because we're not. That's built from ground level up is the 3.5. Mm-hmm. So if we're going to decide, let's say that this is fine for us to build here. I'll show you how the building happens in a minute. But what's the difference between building a dam wall here and building a dam wall here?
The material.
And also the height of the wall.
Here we have, basically, look at this, we have this much more dam here and this much more dam here.
Yeah. More volume of water and more material required to complete the wall.
Yeah, but we have, but here, compared to here, we have, you know, if this is the water or this is the water, we have almost 3 times the amount of water. Yeah. For, if this is amount of this and then this, so it's actually, the original dam is 2 hand widths, we added a hand width, so 30% increase in dam wall length for a 60% increase in water retention. So the height is the thing where we can't guesstimate